Hello, welcome to episode 7 of the WeveGotBibinho show. We are live on Twitch, and I still haven't set up my restream shit. Basically what that means is that I'll be live on Twitter and all the other stuff. I've kind of set it up, but I've not quite pressed go. So yeah, hopefully sooner or later that'll be on there. We will be filtering this over through to YouTube and SoundCloud as usual. I hope you're having a great Sunday. I'm having a fantastic Sunday. I'm wearing my City shirt. We've just won the league. United have failed to beat, or yeah, you might even pick up a point, shall we say. They failed to beat West Brom.
Fuck yeah.
And we have now won the league, which is music to my ears and wonderful news. There's been a slight change. Obviously, we meant to have David Fish for this one, but I can't get hold of him. I don't know where he is. I don't know what he's doing. But yeah, he's knocking around somewhere. So I've managed to bring someone who isn't even in this country. He's not even in this country. Would you like to let the people know who you are?
Yeah, man. It's the Midnight Kid here, lads. So hope you're doing well. If there's an echo, it's because I'm in the bathroom over in fucking America at the moment. In a bathroom. So yeah, I'm never usually in your country anyway, baby, to be honest.
No,
so
you're not.
it doesn't really make a massive difference, I
suppose.
suppose. He kind of fucked up there introducing me as usual, but...
I've just kind of... What time is it where you are?
It's like... We're 4 hours behind.
Oh, right.
I'm on the East Coast, so it's like 1:30. What time is it there? Like 5:30,
It's definitely
6:30?
more than 4 hours, mate, because it's like 7 o'clock here.
Oh, maybe it's like... Hold on, I'll check. I will check. It's 2 o'clock.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so it's like 4 or 5 hours, whatever it is there.
We're working on ice cream uploads. Press go, then duh. Zizou, thanks for dropping by, mate. And Tiger for Life has just said that Fish has changed his name by deed poll to John Brown. We're not going to get into that because that is an absolute shitstorm that's going on Twitter at the moment, and it's none of my business. So yeah, obviously we brought the Midnight Kid in. He's currently sat in a bathroom in the middle of... Is it Boston that you're in?
Yeah, just outside Boston,
just outside Boston, sat on his bottom in the toilet while his missus watches home
naked.
watches home renovation videos on whatever TV channel she's deciding to watch that on. But nevertheless, it is episode 7. This is my show. It's always a car crash. Nothing ever goes to plan. Timings are always up the wall. But I'm glad that people are starting to filter through, and we're going to have a nice old chinwag about some of the shit that I find either amusing or is a need-to-know information. So, getting on to the very first news story of the day. City are champions. I've already said it once, but my God, it feels good to say again. It's been a while. It's been a while. I'm going to dedicate this show to my boys in blue, and I've just dropped my Pez watch on the floor. Time is running out.
I hope it broke.
Time ran out for United. There we go. I'll put that.
Congratulations.
Thanks,
I'm
mate.
delighted for you.
Thanks.
No, in fairness, you've played the best football this year. Deserved it. United are fucking poor, haven't they? Fairness, like, so.
Do you know what?
I think it was just kind of...
Do you know what? I don't even think most of the time it's been because they've been poor. I mean, they haven't played the best football, but for the last couple of years, the people who have won the Premier League haven't played great football. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's either been like Leicester that year that they won the league, mate. That was possibly one of the worst years of Premier League football that I've ever been around for. And I'm not taking it away from Leicester because, let's face it, they still had to get out onto the pitch and pick up 3 points. They beat us, I think, home and away. They definitely beat United. And when Vardy, I think, managed to break the record for 10 goals in a row. So they still had to beat these teams that are put in front of them. But this year, I think we've been head and shoulders above everybody else, which I'm not afraid to say, despite the backlash that I might get from it. But we've just been playing the best football. I mean, this last week has probably been the worst week of the year for us. Getting beat by Liverpool twice, hands down again, Liverpool was much the better team. Second half, United absolutely rinsed us, so I don't know what happened in the changing rooms after we was 2-0 up. We just fell to absolute shit, but it's just one of them.
It is what it is, man. It's going to be different next year, I think, when Mourinho gets his... I don't know if Mourinho is the man for the job at United, but
everybody says second season's always Mourinho's season, and unfortunately, it hasn't happened.
We'll give him that anyway and see, like, but I don't know, like, it's looking at your squad and looking at United squad, there isn't a massive difference in quality on paper, I suppose. It's just fucking desire and fucking I don't know. You could be looking at it all day, like, the money United have spent and the money City have spent, they should be a lot closer than they are. But I think it could be a good shake-up this summer,
and that's
like
what I'm
with
looking forward
players.
to. I want. I mean, it's all well and good being a fan of the team that have gone out and absolutely rinsed the league this year. Currently, it stands we're 16 points ahead. Do you know what I mean? And it's all well and good that, but as a football fan and a football purist, I'd much rather. Well, no, it sounds stupid. I'm kind of backtracking on what I'm saying. It sounds stupid, but I like the excitement of, we've got 5 games left, there's 3 points between us. We might end up losing it, do you know what I mean? And I'd be absolutely furious if we lose it, but the football purist, I love the last day, like when we won the league again, in the last game of the season and stuff like that. That's the sort of thing that in 20 years' time, everybody's going to still remember the Aguero moment. They're not going to remember fucking United losing to West Brom 1-0 at home the week after beating us, and then they give us a title. Do you know what I mean? That isn't the. I was saying to my granddad yesterday when we beat Tottenham 3-1 that I'd much rather United win today, and then I'll like get a draw or whatever, and then us win next week, and then be able to celebrate on the pitch rather than it being given to us overnight. That kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a bit of an anticlimax for you, I suppose, after the year you've had.
Exactly.
You know,
so because we can just
would you think that?
Go on.
Would you think that you kind of? Would you be worried for next year if there does come a bit of pressure on you that, like, do you think that it was kind of a collapse against United in the second half and against Liverpool over the 2 legs?
To be fair,
or do you think that it was?
The ball yesterday, I said I was speaking to my granddad, and I think we've run out of steam up until that point.
Yeah,
I think we've come out the gate this year at an unbelievable pace, like frightening, like how good we was at the beginning of the year. It's very,
the first 20 games.
Yeah, it's very rare that a team will come out and win every single game. I think we drew against Everton 1-1 at home earlier in the season, but barring that, to absolutely blitz the league and be able to have that momentum pushing all the way through to getting to a point within the last 2 weeks or so where we kind of had a little small collapse, so because we could have broken more records. Like now we've equalled the same amount of games as it took to win the league with 5 remaining, the same as United did in 2001. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of more. It's like I say, it's more anticlimactical, really. I'd much rather have had it won last week against United, but things don't usually go our way, and in typical City fashion, we don't even get to celebrate on the pitch. But I'm not taking it away. We still won the league. We've still got a lot of things to do. We've got 5 games left of our season. We haven't got the FA Cup. United are still in the FA Cup. So literally just before I came on with you, my mate phoned me, and he was like, how bad do United, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, they've still got something to play for this year. They've still got the FA Cup. And the FA Cup, when all said and done, is still one of the biggest cups in the world, regardless of the Premier League Cup.
Yeah,
it's still one of the most.
Well, it's something to play for, I suppose, at the end of the season for a team that had won. You know, like United have had a very disappointing season. I would think for the money they've spent and the talent that they have. Well, I don't know, man. It's talent nowadays, and you're talking about it. Like, you know, how good really are the players that you're buying for the crazy money? Do you know, it's if they have, you know, they have the skill and they have all the talent in the world, but I don't know if the hunger is there like it was when you won your first one against United that year. Like, there was hunger there. You know, when Leicester won it, there was hunger there. Nowadays, it's kind of, you know, I think when they kind of realise that they're up, like, you know, that they're not going to win something, like, it's very hard to get up for games, you know.
I agree. It is just one of them things at the moment where we've got nothing left to play for. Obviously, we still want to try and get as many points as we can. And I'm guessing players like Yaya, that hasn't played that many games this year, if he can squeeze the 5 games in, I'm fairly certain. I think it's 10 games now. You get a winner's medal. But it's
been a good servant for you, to be fair.
He's been get a medal. I mean, it's come to a point now where obviously I don't want to keep on going on about it, but someone like Phil Foden is only 17. Do you know what I mean? He's now got a Premier League winning medal. And some players can go the whole career without getting one. Someone like Steven Gerrard won everything there is to win apart from the Premier League. And a young 17-year-old lad who's had substitute appearances here, left, right and centre this year, and also started a few games, has got the opportunity to be part of it. It's only going to set us and England up, hopefully, in the future, to be able to land on his 2 feet. But like, I thought when Martial came on today, I thought he had quite a decent game. Obviously, he's fast, but he just doesn't. He's not the kind of player that always wants the ball. Yeah, that's the vibe that I get from him. He's so good with the ball at his feet. He loves to take on a man. However, he's not the person that's waving his hand on left wing, waiting for the ball to come to him every 2 seconds. But I thought he had a decent game when he came on today. There was a point where, I think it was like 88th minute, I think he swung across into the box, and it was literally a millimetre off Lukaku's head. And if that hit him and went in, it would have been a completely different story. But now I was saying players like Kleberson and Jemba obviously getting winners medals. You know what I mean? Like, who are Kleberson and Jemba? There was both.
Yeah, that's true.
Players, and they still managed to. Luke Chadwick picked up a Premier League medal. Do you know what I mean? It's some of the players that have managed to pick one up.
He did.
Vern's saying for City to become a great side, they need to win the league in consecutive years. Is it possible? Talking about mentality, and City are yet to do that. There's two sides to that.
Winning changes that, though. Winning changes that. Winning changes the mentality. That's what happened with United under Ferguson. Not cutting in, but you know, it is kind of. That's what happens. Like, you know, you see fucking the likes of Tottenham and the likes of City for years and years and years. Like, you'd expect them just to roll over for United. Not to roll over, but you'd always expect United to win some way or whatever under Ferguson. Now, I think that's changing, like slowly changing. The more you win, the more that mentality changes, that you're turning up the games and you can't see yourself losing. You know what I mean? Whereas United had that for fucking... United won games before they even kicked the ball under Ferguson sometimes. It was just the fear that they used put into teams, no matter who was fucking playing.
Old Trafford, mate, their cards are marked as soon as they get off the bus. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I think with Fern's comment, there's two sides to the coin with that. Teams are judged by, at the end of the season, how much they've won. And this year, I think we're going to go down as one of the most attractive football-playing teams that there's ever been in the Premier League, regardless of how good of a team we're going to be in next season. This year has made the whole of Europe, if not the world, in some corners of it, who actually know who Man City are, just basically sit up and take notice. There's teams this year that really didn't want to play against us. I know for a fact if we'd have got anybody else barring Liverpool in Champions League, we'd have had half a decent chance of going through. Unfortunately for us, a team like Liverpool, as much as in the league this year, they've not been the best. Like, they can put 7 games, really, really good games, where they'll pick up maximum points, they'll score 2 or 3 goals, and then they'd come up against a mid-table. It's very similar to United today. They come up against a mid-table, lower side team, and they will either lose or they'll pick up a draw when they should have absolutely battered them. Liverpool this year cottoned on that. After beating us at Anfield, I mean, we beat them 5-0 at home, and then at Anfield, I think it was more of a case of just getting the faces. We have got something to lose still, but we just get out and see what happens. And they came at us and they rinsed us. The Anfield 4-1 in the league. Oh, it might have even been 5 actually. And then in both legs of the Champions League, they came at us, and rightfully so. In those 3 games, we got beat hands down. There's no backing away from that. We were shy. But Liverpool in the Champions League, I don't think there's many other teams better than them. They've got the experience of being in them situations, and players like James Milner, who can play at any point in that team. He can play left back, right back. Fucking hell, you give him a pair of gloves, he'll go in net. Do you know what I mean? He's that kind of player. He'll literally run around the pitch for you all day. He might not be having the best of seasons. I don't watch him week in, week out anymore. Obviously, because he's not wearing a blue shirt, but I can't imagine him being the same player that he was 5 or 6 years ago in the City team. Yeah. However, he was pulling strings in them 3 games with the Beatles this year. He was unbelievable. It was like he's rolling back the years. But players like that in the big game occasions, we seem to lack that kind of player at the moment. That can pick up, like, there's players that used to be like Yaya Toure that are just literally, anybody either side him would grab them by the scruff of the necks and literally pull them through the game.
Pulling through it,
The company can't do that on his own. Do you know what I mean? He's been in some high-profile situations, but none more so than someone like Yaya Toure. Even though he hasn't got the legs, I think in some instances there's been games where we just think, right, it's not going our way. Put him in and make sure that he's still around the squad for a reason. Do you know what I mean? We extended his contract last year for a reason. It wasn't just to give him a last goodbye. It was to, he's clearly got the mentality. Let's bring him in, keep him around the team, and kick people up the arse when they need to be. It's not a stupid thing to do. I mean, there's teams. There's a reason Fergie re-signed Scholes for another season. He retired and came back because he is that kind of player.
Came back again, Well, you need leaders. Like, you need leaders in the dressing room. That, you know, it's easy look at a match in a weekend, 1 game a week, but it's, you know, they're training or they're preparing 6 days of the week that they're not playing, and that's a huge part of it. I think with the thing, just to kind of say on Klopp there with Liverpool, I think they have just like the Manchester United of old with Ferguson. I think they've 110% bought into Klopp.
Yeah.
Like every single player that's there, he's been very, very lucky and very, very good to get in who he's got in and to get rid of who he's got rid of, instead of keeping him in the dressing room. I think that there's a lot of people, or a lot of players in that United squad that aren't going to buy into Mourinho. And I think it was the same with De Bruyne. I think it was the same with fucking Salah when they played under Mourinho. I think Martial has the potential to be a top like player, but I think he needs to get out from underneath or else be embraced. Yeah. Like you can't do it half-arsed. And I think Mourinho has a habit of doing that. Like as you've seen with Salah now, when you know, he said Salah wouldn't be good enough for the Premier League. Like Salah's probably been Player of the Year. I just think that Liverpool have totally bought into Klopp. I think all the players that he's bought have bought into him, and I think they just believe. I think they just believe in him. Yeah. You know what I mean? Whereas I think that there's some players still that, I don't know. I suppose it's just that kind of
there's very different management styles. Like at the moment, there's people like Klopp and there's like Pep who are on the sideline and they're kicking every single ball on the pitch. Like they won't sit down. They'll just be in the technical area and they will literally be giving it out to the players. If they misplace a pass, they're literally. I think if it wasn't in the technical area, they would be on the pitch dragging them by the ears. Do you know what I mean? Is that kind of management more often than not inspires your players? Now that's not to listen. Again, I'm getting to a point where it sounds like I'm bashing Jose. He's won practically everything there is to. Everywhere he's gone, he's won stuff, but. It all comes down to your team, and if your team aren't playing for you, I don't know the United story inside out. Like I'm not on their forums. I don't follow many United fans on Twitter. I don't follow the main account. I don't know the ins and outs of the team. I can only see either what I watch when I actually watch them, or from second-hand information from people around me. Do you know what I mean? I'm not as critical. I'm constantly watching them. That kind of thing. It's just second-hand information most of the time. But from what I see when I do watch them, they're not the United team that I grew up. In fact, I would say admiring, because they played some fucking good football. They won everything there is to win. Whereas my team wasn't doing anything like that. Obviously, I still love my City team. They'll always be my football club. But at the same time, you can still admire people like Barcelona and Real Madrid, who are just out of this world. Obviously, Real Madrid this year, they're having a few hiccups. But yeah, it's just one of them. I think he will walk before he's pushed, Jose. I can't ever see him getting sacked. He'll come to a point where he has a meeting with someone and says, right, this is what I need. Can you give it me yes or no? No, okay, bye. I think that's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think listen, I'd give him another season. I'd give him his contract, and then I'd reevaluate it. I'm not a big fan of fucking, like United have kind of fucked over a few managers since Ferguson, obviously with Moyes and stuff, that either weren't up for the task or were kind of, the rug was pulled out from underneath them with promises, and they weren't given money to spend or whatever it is. But I think Mourinho, unless you're going to be getting in somebody that's another top class manager, I think he is the man for the job, but he needs to get the right players in, and I think he needs to make a couple of hard decisions. That's kind of, I know obviously other United fans might think differently, but it's kind of hard, like when you grow up watching a team, and obviously I'm from Ireland. I'm not, I wouldn't be a die-hard, like from the City fan, say, from Manchester type of fan, but I've grown up, like passionately following United, like loving all the players, have my favourite players, whatever. And they just don't have that swagger about them anymore, where, they always had a Beckham or Ronaldo. And when I was growing up in school and stuff, and you'd be fucking running around, pretending you're David Beckham or pretending you're Cantona or pretending you're Ronaldo, they just don't have that anymore, you know what I mean? I don't think that they have that swagger about them anymore, and I think that's what they need to get back. Yeah. I mean, in order to fucking
a marquee signing. Now, obviously, Pogba was a marquee signing for them. I think this is going to sound so bad coming from a City fan. I think he's a vastly underrated player playing in a team which doesn't benefit him or suit him, if you get what I mean. Like, when I seen him at Juve, he was 3 times the player that he is now. For me, the way he's playing currently is very similar. Barring the game last week, which second half, again, he ran the show. Like, he was pulling strings left, right and centre. But he seems to be a shadow of the player. He's very much the player he was at United before he left United. He seems like he's running that kind of way. I mean, for 2 years now, I don't think he's put in half as many performances as the team and the price tag wanted him to be. I think they wanted him to be the person that gets 15 to 20 goals a season from midfield, creating chances left, right and centre. But I don't feel he has been anywhere that kind of impact. I could be completely wrong, but
well, like again, I think you're right. The thing I'd say about Pogba is, I think if you look at any team he's played in, he's only a young lad. You know, he's only a young fucking player.
He's got about another 13 years in him. Do you know what I mean? He's got still more time to mature.
Like the type of player he is, but he needs. I think there's certain players that are fucking in every sport. There's certain players that are like stars, and there's certain players that are superstars. And I don't think Pogba is at the moment a superstar in terms of, when I say about a superstar or whatever, I'm talking about, you know, the likes of Ronaldo, the likes of Messi. I'm not talking talent-wise. I'm just saying you need a couple. Some players need to play with good players. Some players need to play with other good players. Some players can do it no matter who they play with. Like Ibrahimovic is a superstar. No matter what club he goes to, he does something. Messi, you know what I mean? Some would argue that Messi has had some of the best ever players to play. You know, Iniesta, Deco, Xavi, Ronaldinho. But like Ronaldo, Messi, you're talking about those guys. They would literally do a job anywhere. Griezmann maybe with France and Atletico. There's Ronaldinho back through the ages, Henry. I don't think Pogba at the moment is the guy that United thought that they were going to buy, as in he was going to be the guy that was going to be the superstar, and they were going to have Martial and they were going to have a couple of others that would be accompanying pieces. Whereas now I think United need to go out and they need to buy 2 or 3, whether it is a Griezmann, whether it is somebody like that can run with Pogba rather than accompany him. Do you know, that kind of way, as in like they need to run in with him or just be a little bit better than him, so that Pogba would be, I think, a fantastic, the second best player at the club rather than expected to be the best. And I know De Gea is probably the best player United have, but he's in goals. You know what I mean? It's a completely separate game. So I think if they had somebody, I think at the moment like a Griezmann, maybe like a fucking, I don't know, even like a solid fucking another striker. Like, I know Lukaku's good, but
again, I was speaking to my mate before we came live, and this year he has got some stick, Lukaku. But however, I mean, he scored 20 plus goals this year. He has dug United out of a massive hole on numerous occasions. Again, he's only a young lad, and how fast he moves for a man of his size, he's like a freak of nature. I've never seen someone. I mean, again, it sounds horrible saying this, but the fat Ronaldo, the Brazilian original Ronaldo, he wasn't always very lean, shall we say. He was quite not on the chunky side, hefty but he was a well built guy, and his pace was unbelievable. Adriano, again, another player who's built like a brick shithouse, and he was still legging it around the pitch. But Lukaku this year, I think, has been a perfect signing for them. He adds a plan A and a plan B. Sometimes you want the plan C of knocking the ball around. But I would love a target man at City at the moment. I think we've got a plan A. Sometimes the plan B and C, we don't have one. We haven't got. I put a tweet about Giroud. Obviously, he's moved to Chelsea and he bagged 2 at weekend. And I think Arsenal lost today against Newcastle. And you just want them to have a plan B where they can just once again put the balls into the mixer. And you know Giroud's going to score. He's very much like it was for Dzeko. Very underrated. And you hate to say it, but when they go, that plan B and C goes with them. They haven't got that ability to be able to fall back on knowing that when he comes off the bench or if he starts, he's going to get a goal. And now Chelsea have managed to bag 2 and save the embarrassment.
Well, look, it's no matter what way you look at it, like, it's a simple game. Like, you know what I mean? Football is a simple fucking game. There isn't a massive amount of I know that there is. I know, Jesus, it's a very, you know, like, I suppose, like, kind of amateur way of speaking about football or whatever. Like, there's obviously a huge tactical side of it. There's huge money spent on, you know, getting coaches in to work on certain aspects of the game. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? It's a very simple game of getting the ball in between the posts. That's basically what you're trying to do all the time.
Football, can't you? You can watch matches left, right, and centre, but at the end of the day, you're not going to stop a ball from coming in midfield over the top of your defenders and someone just going to head it in. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's as simple as that. You can score from 30 yards, you can score from 2 yards. It doesn't matter. The ball goes in the back of the net regardless.
Yeah.
So just catching up
and that's
why
it's such a good sport.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's so exciting, because at the end of the day, anybody can beat anybody, and we've seen that this year. Wigan this year beat us. We was so dominant again in that game against them. Wigan, a League One team, I might add for people who aren't familiar or know where they are these days. A League One team beat Manchester City, the now Premier League champions, 1-0 with possibly the only shot on target they had, very similar to the cup final we lost against them in the FA Cup 4 years ago.
Year before, yeah, 4.
It baffles me the amount of possession that we could have in a game. I think it was something like 85%, battering the goals left, right, and centre. They slap the ball up. It takes a dodgy bounce. Will Grigg just inside of the foot, bosh, keeper no chance. It's just one of them things. It's fucking annoying, but. Just catching up with the chat then, because there's quite a lot of comments have come in. Magic saying Jose is still a great manager. Is a great manager for underdog teams, challengers, but not established huge clubs where any loss is heavily criticised. So
that's a good point. To be fair,
he came in at Chelsea when they just about got the money. Just
about. Yeah, that year.
But before that, he was at Porto, who, let's face it, are in a dog shit league. He came in with Chelsea, won practically everything there was to win. Did he win? He didn't win the Champions League with Chelsea though, did he? That was Roberto Di Matteo about 5 years later.
Yeah.
Went to Real Madrid, won everything, including the Champions League. Went to was it Bayern Munich? Was it Bayern Munich manager?
Mourinho.
Yeah.
No, Madrid.
Was it? Oh, he came from Madrid, didn't he?
He wasn't. He's never been. He's never been at Munich.
Yeah, he came from Real Madrid, didn't he? To United.
Yeah. Porto, Chelsea, Madrid, Chelsea, United.
Yes, that's it. Chelsea. Yeah, he went back to Chelsea.
Chelsea twice. Yeah. Probably PSG next.
He still won the league with Chelsea though, didn't he? When he was there.
He did. He won the league. He won the league with Chelsea. Yeah.
So I mean, to be fair to him, everywhere he's gone, he's won. He's only won the FA Cup. He might make it 2 years in a row this year with United. I don't know.
Yeah, but man, it's like you think about it with in any walk of life, whether it's work, whether it's fucking playing. Jesus Christ, like if you're playing 10v10 in PES even, and you've got people that don't want to fucking, you know, like play the way that you can win. It's very hard, like to do. You know, it's very hard to actually win.
Yeah.
So imagine that times fucking 11 if you're playing in a football match where there's pressure, there's
80,000 people
huge fucking money on the
sidelines
line,
you know what I mean?
And you don't have all the people on the pitch pulling in the same direction. Like it's very easy to just lay the blame with Mourinho. I give him the summer. I definitely give him the summer to actually get the team he wants. Give him no excuses. And say, look, what do you want? What do you need? What way do you want the team to look? Like what Liverpool are doing with Klopp. They got rid of Coutinho. They got in Van Dijk. They have your man Keita coming. Like it's Klopp's vision of a team. Like if they give Klopp enough time, he will fucking win them something. Like, do you know what I mean? He is that good. And Pep is the same. You know what I mean? If you give Pep the time, he's a genius. Like he can just win, you know what I mean? So
with the situation, obviously, any time City win anything or any time anybody posts anything, it always comes down to the money. However, this day and age, people like Chelsea, people like Liverpool, people like United, they've got the money to be able to throw up players, and at the moment, it feels to me like they're hiding behind a blanket of, we generate our own money, we will only spend what we get and stuff like that. But football's changed, you know what I mean? There is sugar daddies that are coming in. Maybe it's for the better, maybe it's for the worse. Obviously, now we're winning stuff. I'm definitely on the fence, and if not, I'd much rather say I'd like the fact that we have money, considering we nearly went under without it.
But sure, look at Arsenal, like you.
Yeah, that
you ask any Arsenal fan that fucking they're in profit every year. Like, who gives a fuck? I don't care if my team is in profit of 400 million every year.
What's it to the books? Do you know what I mean?
Me, like, you know what I mean? Exactly. You can give a fuck. I just want my team to win so you can fucking slag your friends. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's going to come down to. That is exactly what it's going to come down to. It's going to be a case of, if you're not spending, you're going to get left behind.
Exactly. But all of them are spending now. I think City, when he initially started, you did, it was an easy thing because of the transition. Like the money, like from the squad.
You've been paying for that for you don't even know how long. Like you're just managing to kind of take the books and balance it out. Like these players that we was throwing, stupid, like Wayne Bridge, Danny Mills. We just had these on the books for years. They didn't even play half the time. But the amount of money that we had to throw at them to get them to come and play for us originally, and not get the investment. Adebayor, that's another one. Do you know what I mean?
Lampard when he came.
Lampard, fuck off. I love Lampard. He's been one of my favourite all-time players, like Frank Lampard. Like, anytime I got an England shirt, Lampard was on the back of it. And the day that he signed for City, it's like everything came to one. And I thought, this is the one. I scored against Chelsea, I nearly died. It was some fucking goal, wasn't it? Just to score it against Chelsea in the way he did.
I
just wanted him to. It was just a classic Frank Lampard.
He deserved it,
the amount of goals that he scored. I think he scored 13 goals, and he was 35. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's some player now, in fairness.
Again, going back to the chat because some messages still coming through. Champione, ole ole, sub bibs. G Unit, thank you very much for cheering. We are Championes. Magic, agree on Pogba. He's still got a lot to learn. Razor, what's going on, mate? Hope you're doing well. I heard the blue side won something. Congrats. I don't watch football anymore, but I watch the United match at my dad's. The Pogba guy who's on 200,000 a week looked like he didn't even want to be there. I'll take his wage. Do you know what? The last thing on Pogba, because I don't want to bash him as much as I'd love to. I think.
Yeah, you fucking love it. Shut up.
I think what he needs to do is, I'm saying this as a guy looking through my blue tinted glasses and looking from the football world from the outside. I generally think that what he needs to find a position that he wants to play and not get better at it because he's a phenomenal player as it is, but he needs to step it up a bit. Like I thought when he was at Juve, he was the second coming of Yaya Toure. He's got the pace, he's got the power, he's got the passing, he's got the tackling, he's got everything to be the perfect box-to-box midfielder. But I think he just likes going forward too much and not getting back enough.
Yeah, agreed. They need to either play him as an out-and-out, attacking midfielder, top of the diamond, say number 10, and just let him have somebody at the back, defensive midfielder, who'll just sit back, whether it's like a Busquets type role or a fucking Toni Kroos to Modric or something like that. That's what United need. And obviously Carrick was supposed to be that kind of, I suppose, player that, maybe bedded Pogba in and give him the freedom to do that. And obviously with what happened to him was something that couldn't be foreseen when they bought Pogba. But there is time now in the summer to go out, spend your 100 million or 50 million or whatever it costs to get that player that you need in, and give it a go. Give Pogba a go at playing that where he doesn't need to defend as much, because he's never going to do it. He's never going to be that type of player.
I mean, there's been times this year. I think the goal that we scored, the second goal, Vincent Kompany's first goal. There was times where he literally just watched the ball go over his head and he never challenged for it. He'll never get up for the second ball. And for a player of his calibre, as good as he is, let's face it, in the next 3 or 4 years, he is going to be possibly the greatest player, the best player in the world, not the greatest player, the best player in the world. He's got that capability. However, he needs to either knuckle down and learn. It sounds really bad again. Learn to play the position that he wants to play rather than trying to take out two roles, because if you're sitting in centre midfield, you either go forward or you stay back and cover your man. You can't just be going forward but getting told to sit back but just stay forward, because you're going to have someone who's playing alongside you doing both roles then, and you can't afford that when you're playing a club like Man United. Everyone needs to be clicking. That's what Klopp's got his players doing now. If they haven't got the ball, they're pressing. It doesn't matter where you are on the pitch, you are going after that ball. Everyone's got the zones. But for me, he just seems to be just sitting outside of his comfort zone. And it's not working well enough for him. Last week was the anomaly for him and how he was playing. There's been times this year where he's scored some absolute world-class goals and you're thinking, this is it, he's going to jump up now, he's going to push on.
Yeah, take the next level,
And then it just goes back to shit, basically.
Agreed. He just needs to step up a bit. He's young, you know. There's a lot of players in his role. Like,
he shouldn't be playing with this much pressure on his shoulders at his age. It shouldn't happen, but it's the way of the world now. If you're coming in with an £89 million price tag, you've got to perform.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, this has turned into an absolute football show, hasn't it? 37 minutes of talking about football. Shall we talk about some games?
Yeah, man.
Let's talk about some games.
Let's do it.
The first game is, well, the one thing that we need to talk about is the biggest topic of the weekend. It's actually brainwashing me into getting this game. Is God of War. It has been...
God of War, yeah. Jesus, it looks very good. Oh,
I can't remember. You'll probably be able to steer me on the right road with this. I cannot remember a game that has had the reviews that it's got in such a small amount of time. Like everybody, like Games Radar, Eurogamer, IGN, everybody, PC Gamer, everyone coming out and just saying 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, The Last of Us is probably the last game that had the hype that this has, like in terms of reviews, in terms of it looks unreal. Like, you know what I mean? It actually does look unreal. So.
It's been on Metacritic, and I think when I pulled this article, when I started reviewing what I needed to do, it was stood at 96, I think, on Metacritic. It's not even out yet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's mad.
I imagine that's probably going to drop down to around 91, possibly 92, maybe even 90 when the game comes out next week, and people start putting their own review scores in. But a game like this comes about once every few years, and to blow everything out of the water. I mean, it's come out at the perfect time, really. If they left this towards the end of the year, when you've got some absolute bangers coming out, it may have got lost. But I'm not a true God of War fan. Like, I've only kind of played the other ones, but this does not look like. It doesn't look like a God of War game. It looks like a third person. It looks like Gears of War, but with an axe. Like very much.
Yeah, it does. It looks kind of a perfect step in for somebody who's never even played them before, because it's so different.
I agree.
As well,
this is probably going to, like I said, it's probably going to be the one that I eventually come and pick up and get the story. I like the fact that it's very much a coming of age story. Like, obviously he's had to grow up. He's got a kid now. You got to find out whether the kid wants to kind of go out on its own, hunter gatherer kind of thing. But yeah, it's. I'm just going to read the first paragraph of this because it's an absolute doozy of a paragraph, as you can see from the right hand side bar. Some of the best films of all time are those that have different strengths, all work in concert to create a unified, engrossing whole. The Shining, The Social Network, and Jaws are all examples of films that are made up of strong individual parts, complementing each other to form a fantastic work of art. This is absolutely true of God of War. Its musical score elevates story moments which flow seamlessly into fantastic action gameplay, which facilitates exploration and puzzles that reward you with a deeper understanding of its characters and its expansive, beautiful world. God of War is a masterful composition of exceptional interlocking parts, deliberate in its design and foreshadowing, which plays off unexpected ways with both the gameplay and the story. This is obviously on IGN, written by Jonathan Dornbush. There's a lot of big words in there to possibly try and make it sound...
a little bit.
Yeah, but... mind-blowing. Yeah, that's it. However, it kind of sets the scene, really. With how the game's going to be. I mean, it's games like gaming companies will always inflate the score to which they get to either get another game from the company in the future, or just to be able to push sales and get a commission off it. I don't know how it works. But no more so than this game. It's a game that everybody's been waiting for.
Yeah. And it's kind of creeped up as well. Like, it's kind of been something that everyone has been so sidetracked with fucking, Fortnite and stuff over the last couple of weeks. And, obviously Red Dead, people are looking forward to that. You had Horizon at the start of the year. There's just, it's just, do you know what I mean? It's after coming at the perfect time, as you said, for somebody to be dipping in and out of it. And it's, it's a single-player game where you sit down, you play your hours, and you probably experience one of the best games out this year already, and you still have You still have Red Dead and stuff to come.
Well, hopefully
you still have a
this
few
is
others
going to be like a rebirth of the single player game, because it's getting to a point now where the only games that they're bringing out is either massive multiplayer or play with your friends in squads and stuff like that. It's the story writing in games. I don't want to bash it, because there's some beautiful stories that I've written for games, but they just seem to be very few and far between nowadays. It's like Magic saying, then I'm always wary of press releases. Commercial sites aren't always honest. It does look good, but I'll wait for someone. He's got a trusted reviewer, an Angry Joe's review. I don't watch his stuff, but I know people swear by what he says about things. So,
but at the end of the day, you're going to listen. Like, I'm the same. I don't really, for somebody, you know what I mean, who obviously writes and has been a reviewer before, like, it's only your opinion at the end of the day. You know, and if you like that person, you're going to agree with them more often than not. If you don't, you're not going to agree with them. You know, you're going to say, oh, they're too harsh or whatever. But yeah, I'd agree with Magic there. I would be weary of all the reviews until I actually sit down and play it myself, which would probably be a couple of months for me. But like The Last of Us that I mentioned earlier, I really liked that, but I didn't love it.
Yeah.
And I know that that's a controversial statement, because everyone was like, oh, it's fucking the best game ever, the best this, the best that. Like, and I didn't play it on the PS3. I played a HD remaster one on the PS4. You know, so I was a couple of years away from actually playing it when consuming it the first couple of months it came out. But I thought it was brilliant in what it did, but it wouldn't be my favorite, one of my favorite games of all time. For no reason. Like, everything was done well. Like, the fighting, the story, everything was done exceptionally well. It just didn't grab me like, say, Resident Evil 7 grabbed me at the start. Like the original BioShock would have grabbed me. Let me see, like Skyrim would have grabbed me. Do you know, like games like that.
That's how much you liked it.
I'm playing it now again. I'm well into it now again. So, but it's just, that's why I'd agree with Magic there, and it is a very good point. I am wary of fucking reviews, and I'm wary of everything, because you could go see a film in the morning and I could say, what you think, and you could say something, and I might watch it and it could be completely different. Do you know what I mean? So,
me and you talk about films that we both watch all the time, and we both have different opinions on films and games that come out. So it's just one of them.
Of course, yeah.
Got any pollen? What's alright, mate? Hope you're doing okay, pal. So that's obviously God of War. It's a game that eventually I'm going to pick up. I can't see it being anytime soon, because I'm going on a holiday. I'm going on holiday at some point. So I do want to, when I come back, buy Far Cry, because I'm a big Far Cry fan and I do want that game. But obviously I can't afford it now. But moving on to the next one is something that's been rumoured for a long time, and I'm super glad that it's coming out. Big fan of it when I was younger, and that's Spyro the Dragon.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, mate, I'm buzzing for this game. Very much like I was for Crash Bandicoot, and I still haven't played that. However, I will 100%. I'm in for this. I'm just going to put my birthday in there, so that's nice for everyone to see.
So you've banished
send your presents now, whoever's
send my
watching.
Presents, or just use my identity, one of the two.
Exactly.
Razor saying, it's always weird when you spend money on a single player game. The last one I got was Skyrim, but after spending however many hours on it, it just ends. I think the way everyone goes to either MMO or BR is when it's always good to replay value. I can see where you're coming from, but if the storyline's good and it gives you and they put replayability in there's no reason why you can't. I've started playing Resident Evil 1 again this week, purely for the simple fact that I've only completed it on my PS4 twice, and I want to do it again for the third time, because you get more shit. Do it faster, you get more shit. You know, that kind of thing. It all comes down to the story.
Gives you a reason to play it back.
It all comes down to the replayability. If it hasn't got it, sometimes the game just finishes and you never go and play it again. I've completed Sleeping Dogs 3 times because I love it that much. I still haven't finished. I've finished Grand Theft Auto 5 once, but I can't be asked going back and playing that again. It all comes down to however you feel about it, really. But Spyro's rumoured... Jesus Christ, the double R just sent me off here. Spyro's rumoured remastered trilogy has been leaked. The original 3 games will be coming to PS4 and Xbox One on September 1st, 2018, according to the Amazon listing. Amazon India states that the remastered, officially titled Spyro Reignited trilogy will contain all 3 original Spyro games fully mastered in HD. That means you get the first Spyro the Dragon, Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage, also known as Gateway to Glimmer in Europe and Australia, and Spyro Year of the Dragon. In total, the bundle includes over 100 levels remastered with breathtaking graphical updates and improved gameplay controls according to the listing, which also displays what will be a final box art and a box of screenshots, which you can see below. So, did you ever play this game when it came out on the PS1?
Yeah, I did, yeah. Jeez, I'd be a big fan of it. I'd actually probably be a bigger fan of these than Crash. I would have played Crash a little bit more for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, I love them. I love the first one, actually. The first one was probably my favourite. I think they got a little bit...
That's not much.
I think the first one was the best from what I remember.
They all got a bit samey.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I just think it was... Yeah, they just got a bit same. It was like Crash as well. Crash kind of were limited. I thought the second Crash was the best, probably. Or else that one, Rat of Cortex, was that the second one? I think it was. I think it was, yeah. But I think that was the best one. But I think the first Spyro was the best for some reason. I don't know why I think that. It's been a while since I actually fucking played them. But
I'm trying to show more screenshots.
Definitely going to check it out. Like, I won't probably buy it like day one. Like, as I said, I still haven't, as you said there, I still haven't played Crash either.
I'll wait for that to come down.
But it would definitely be something that I'll pick up. Yeah, exactly. It's like all those remastered games. Like, it's just nice to know that they're there, that you can actually pick them up, and like, you don't have to be messing with fucking old. I know it's nice to go back playing the old consoles sometimes, but I know you love that. But it's nice just to have the option going into the PSN store, download, play, and that's it. Like, you know, so
even better that you can nip down to the shops and actually pick up a disc. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
even faster.
Exactly. Yeah. So
I've replayed Mass Effect Trilogy, God knows how many times. More than I got my money's worth from it. MMO and BR games are just time sinks with limited time. Do you know what? It's games that I don't like. I don't like the grind for the sake of the grind. And I think, what's the game that's come out recently that is just pure grind for grind's sake? Oh God, I can't remember what it is. I was talking to my mate about it. I was talking to Willis, who was on it the other week.
Metal Gear.
That's a good example, yeah, but it wasn't Metal Gear. There's games that come out for grinding for the grind's sake, just to say, okay, that's another hour spent. Okay, it'd take 8 hours to get this item just for the sake of having the item. Do you know what I mean? It's not. There's no storyline to it. There's no plot line or anything like that. It's just keep on going. World of Warcraft is exactly the perfect example. If you don't get the loot that you drop from the boss, you have to go back and do the boss again.
Yeah, Destiny 2 sure is riddled with that.
Destiny, actually. It could have been.
It's been a huge. Like, I think I was reading there, because I was actually a massive fan of the first Destiny. I actually bought, like, that was my first game I bought. It was the console seller for me, buying the PS4. And I was like all in on it, loved it, was actually quite good online. And about 2 or 3 months after playing it weekly and having a clan and everything, it was just like, what am I doing? Like, there's no fucking depth here. It's just pure grind fest, And I think Destiny's 2's their actual user base and people who are playing it has like halved from like this time when Destiny 1 came out, like it was out for so long, 6 months or whatever, it's half of what it was.
It's very interesting that, because I think when it comes to Destiny, what they would have been best doing is very similar to what the model of World of Warcraft was, where they have the original game. I played the original Destiny, but not in long enough, because I was only rolling on my own. I was rolling solo, and it just annoyed me having to clan up and stuff like that, because sometimes I don't have the time to be able to sit there and say, right, okay, I'm going to be on at 9 o'clock on this night, and we'll do this. So that annoyed me a little bit. But what they could have done was I don't think the graphics have changed that much between them. They could have just kept on patching it, more expansions. I think they had 4 or 5 expansions for it. Who's to say that they couldn't have done another 3 or 4? Because if they're losing the play base now off Destiny 2, then they could have just kept with the first one, because the play base on that was massive.
That was the idea originally, but they panicked then when the first one came out, because they had so many features left out of it. That was originally the idea of it, like when they first started, was to basically have a game where it wasn't just like a 1 or 2 year cycle. It could have been like a 5 year cycle before the second Destiny came out. But I think that they panicked, and I think they started making so much money that it was like rushed out. The second one was rushed out. So Yeah, I think like, but then you go back to that, what you're saying with Destiny. Like I played that pretty much by myself as well. I had a clan with like 2 other lads, but you know, it was the same thing. It was very hard to organise getting on. Whereas like if I'd known you back then, we might have played that and smashed it more than. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like we might have played that. Like look at Fortnite now at the moment. Like that has been, without getting into it, it's probably a completely different episode for your discussion. But I find it funny how people, complain about PES or complain about FIFA or something like that. Mostly PES because that's the community I'd be more, associated with. That there's no depth in it. But at the end, like Fortnite is basically rinse and repeat every single game.
1v100
It's just game. The actual, it's the gameplay. It's the gameplay that the mechanics are the same every game, but it's the actual gameplay and the squadding up and what you make out of it yourself.
That's it.
Like with co-op in PES, that drives the game forward. So,
but the thing with that is the co-op experience in PES gets ruined by the people who you're playing against.
Exactly.
So that's the only downfall of that. If co-op mode, like on pro clubs, where you can switch the feature on to say match against goalkeeper, yes or no, match against how many people are playing on the team, yes or no, then this wouldn't be a discussion. PES co-op this year would have been the saving grace of the whole game itself.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's not been implemented, and you get people that are rinsing the co-op games as single players to get as much coin as they can. It's like I say, it's a completely different discussion, and I think that probably will be about a 2-hour discussion. But yeah, games are what they make of it. If you're playing with your friends, you're going to enjoy it more as a social game, shall we say? But for me, it's always about the story, and it's always what I can get out of it. If the storytelling's it's the same way I watch films. I don't watch a film because it might be all right. I want to watch a film because I want the story to be an amazing story. I want it to grip me. It's like I went to go and watch...
To carry it through.
I went to go and watch A Quiet Place. Was it last week? It might have been last Friday. And I have never, in all my time going to the cinema, been sat in the cinema. I went I went to McDonald's and bought a McDonald's wrap, and I thought, fuck it, I'll just eat it in there, it'll be fine. I've never been into a cinema where it's been rammed, a sold-out cinema, and every single person still has a full popcorn on the knee by the time they leave.
Oh, fuck.
Literally because of how quiet it was in the cinema, because the films are all based on sign language and things like that, and it comes up little subtitles at the bottom when they're whispering. But because of how tense the whole film was, no one wanted to rustle anything. No one wanted to pick up the drink because it would rattle. I didn't want to take the cardboard off my wrap because it would make too much noise and people would be looking at me. So there's like one scene in there where things start to kick off and it gets a bit loud, and literally I see people scrambling to eat the stuff or get a quick drink in between, because it's an hour and a half of people just sat there watching this film in quiet. And I've never come across that stuff before, but that's... Again, that's beautiful story writing. They've managed to put something in there, not just because of the food, because the film is unbelievable as well. It's easy. I think it's one of my contenders for probably film of the year.
I've heard it's brilliant. It's
unbelievable film, but that's the kind of thing you get in the. It's quiet through because people are engaged in it. Do you know what I mean? They wanna sit there and listen and pay attention and not be disturbed, and it's so hard to get across with any kind of digital media, whether or not it's a film or a game or this fucking podcast, you know what I mean? I can't imagine people not eating or listening to something else while listening to this, or driving or something. But it's just one of them things. It's very rare that it happens, but when it does, it's amazing.
Yeah, but it's all about kind of, I think what you put into it, what you get out of it, like is kind of, it's a, whenever you're doing something and you're giving your time up, you're basically giving your time up because you want to actually get something back out of it. You could, it's even like we literally, where I am at the moment now, we're basically like heading to New York tomorrow, and like all we're doing today is like I'm going to be just watching the NBA for the day, like just 3 matches on from like 3:15 or whatever it is, and I'll just be watching that. But like I know, even though I'll be really interested in that, I'm still going to have my iPad out, I'm still going to have my phone out. I might get the Switch out halfway during one of them and play a couple of Mario Karts online or whatever. Like it's just about kind of, if you have something that you can kind of get immersed in, you'll never, like, it's just a completely special experience nowadays, because especially with that, what you're describing there, in the cinema, surrounded by people. That's why I love the fucking cinema. Like, instead of downloading fucking shitty quality pirates or whatever, it's brilliant just to go off, spend a few quid on the cinema and go in and be entertained and be taken in the same thing as like 100 other people are taken in, all being quiet, all laughing at the same parts. Do you know, all being fucking scared at the same parts. Like, it's the same with online gaming, it's the same with this podcast, same with anything. It's like, if you get into it, you know, it is kind of cool just to take something back out of, you know, because people are giving their time to listening, people are giving their time to watching or playing.
Well, that's the beauty of this.
That's why people...
You go in there, you switch your phone off or put it on silent or whatever, and you don't take it out of your pocket for 2 hours. Like, there's been times where me and Samantha have done back-to-back films, or we might have done 3 films, and we just literally sit there and binge because there's been a lot to watch, and you want that feeling of being entertained for however long you want to be. You don't go to the cinema to start talking. Like, Willis, who came on here, he goes to the cinema quite a lot on his own, and the first time that he said I'm going to the cinema, and I was like, you sad bastard, what are you going to the cinema on your own? People are just going to look at you like you're fucking weirdo. And he's like, well, what do you do when you go to the cinema? And I was like, well, you watch the film. He said, do you speak to Samantha? Do you speak to your mates when you sat next to him? I went, no. And he's like, well, I'm going to the cinema on my own to watch the films. I'm not speaking to anyone while I'm in there. And I was like, that is an unbelievable point. You're still a sad bastard. Yeah, it's just he's absolutely bang on. You go in there, you're not socialising, you're engaging with the media that you've been given, and you get out of it what you put in, which is usually time.
Exactly.
So the final...
man.
Oh my god. Oh, mate, Samantha has literally just brought me up a hot chocolate. You are the best.
Fucking legend.
Hot chocolate, man.
You don't know how lucky you are.
I know.
I have to get tissue here for this fucking
Excuse me.
Put a muffin on. Thanks, babe. Thank you.
Oh, this is quality. In my Las Vegas cup as well.
I'm just after getting a muffin. You got a hot chocolate.
While you're over in America, please tell me that you tried a Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Oh, what do you think I'm eating?
No, coffee.
Dunkin' Donut. Oh no, I haven't tried the coffee yet, no.
Mate.
But I got a fucking the nicest burger today. I don't know if you have them in England. We definitely don't have them in Ireland. I got the nicest burger today in Burger King. It was like a sourdough Whopper King. It was fucking unreal. It's like sourdough bread, like toasted sourdough bread.
I'm in a massive minority, when it comes to Burger King, because Samantha really doesn't like it, but I love it. Like when I went over to Dublin earlier on in the year, again, we just fucking got off on. We just ended up having a chat. But anyway, when I went over to Dublin earlier on in the year, where we were staying, there was like 4 Burger Kings and McDonald's on the same strip in the centre of Dublin. Whereas over here, I'm in Hyde, and our closest one, I don't even think it's there anymore. It was Stockport, which is like 25 minutes away. And then I'll get the train into Manchester. I think there's like 2 in Manchester. They just don't exist around here. There's about 10 McDonald's around me. Beans, what's going on, mate? But yeah, they just don't have Burger Kings around here. It's annoying because I love them.
I love Burger King. I got the nicest burger, and we're still talking a load of shit, but I got the nicest burger in a place the other day in Boston. It was out by Harvard University. We went out to have a look, and it was a famous place. Basically, every burger in there had been ordered or eaten or made up by like a celebrity.
All right.
So there was like Shaquille O'Neal one. There was a fucking Al Pacino one. There was like Kate Winslet one. Whatever. But I got the fucking... Do you know your man Mike Pence, the politician guy?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I was like, I'll have one Mike Pence. And your man was looking at me and goes, that's not a popular choice. And I was like, all right. But it was like barbecue. Like, it was like... It wasn't barbecue sauce like you'd squirt on yourself, like Big L sauce or whatever. The burger was actually marinated and cooked in barbecue, like broth, kind of. So it was like gravy. It was actually like... It was like meatloaf, like, do you know meatloaf? Whereas the outside is just covered in this kind of sticky kind of shit, and it was like a platter of that. It was fucking unbelievable. Jalapenos, barbecue sauce, and then onion rings. Oh, it was fair nice. But yeah, sorry, they're going way off topic as usual.
Food is my favourite subject. In fact, I might even do at some point a food podcast. You know what I mean? A cooking show, that kind of shit. It's all about Beans has dropped in here. This is my favourite burger from Burger King. It's all about the XL bacon double cheeseburger. That is the
Agreed.
one. I don't know why every time I have one though, it always gives me the shits. Like I can't.
Oh yeah, man.
Every time I have one, I don't know what they put on it, but it just goes straight through me.
But sure, the size of the portion, like.
Yeah,
but that was the one I ate today. It was like it was basically the XL double cheeseburger. It had it had proper two, like it was basically that, right? But as well as the cheese and the bacon, it had like crispy onion rings, and it had two instead of the normal buns. It had sourdough toasted fresh.
Oh, mate,
bread.
That is where it's at.
It was fucking unbelievable now. So Beans, you'll have to try that if you're ever in America as well, man. It was fucking. I'm gonna be so fucking fat when I come back though. Like I thought I'd lose weight because, like, our whole budget is basically decided by food. Like that's how we're saving money, and it's just been like every place we've seen, like, and we haven't even been to like Taco Bell yet or fucking.
Oh mate, Taco Bell is the one. When we was over there, they did like a special. It was like 3 different tacos and an enchilada in a box, and it was like $5.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah,
mate, it was unbelievable. Like. I just can't get enough of it. It's Samantha's favourite place to eat. That and High Up over in America. She loves them both.
High Up, yeah.
High Up's like when she when we go next year for the honeymoon, she's like, right, every morning when we're in America, we're just gonna find the nearest High Up, and I'm gonna get stacks of pancakes. I'm gonna have the. It's just like when we went to Florida last year, on the way to Universal, there's one on the corner. So she was like, I'm not. I can give out pancakes. I'm not asked about them really. If they're in front of me, I'll probably eat them. I was getting like these fucking apple smoked bacon bits and stuff like that. I was loving life. I was like, you can just have the pancakes. So she sat there with like fucking 7 pancakes with all the raspberry sauce on top and blueberries and shit. Just loving life. Well, not for me. It's not my thing. But I can't wait to get over there. I can't believe you haven't had the one thing I told you to get while you're over there: the Dunkin' Donuts mocha coffee. They come in like little small bottles. Mate, yeah, I know you budgeted, but you're gonna go over your budget.
I know, yeah. I know we already fucking are, like, to be honest.
You gotta go through them.
It's too hard, man. It's like the food is just
so
like
good. And when you get into that hotel in International Drive, and you've got Chili's over the road, you've got Buffalo Wild Wings down the road. Mate, it's just that road. What's it called? Fucking hell, steakhouse.
International Drive.
Yeah. There's like one of the biggest steakhouses in America, and I can't remember. Outback Steakhouse, that's it. Outback. Get to Outback, mate. Jesus, if you don't leave there with a semi, there's something wrong with you.
Oh man, I can't. I know, but it's like everywhere is nice. That's the problem. Like everywhere you go, like it's nice. We went to a place called Rock Bottom the first night in Boston. It was like literally beside the hotel. We were fucking starving. It was packed, like jammers packed now, and I ordered like another burger, and like I literally couldn't finish it. Like it just came out. We hadn't eaten all day. We hadn't eaten in about 12 hours with the flying and stuff, and I literally couldn't finish it. Like, and like I was starving, but it was fucking stacked. Now I mean stacked. I'd say there's about 7 or 8 slices of cheese on it. I'd say at least 6 or 7 like strips of bacon.
Yeah. They're not arsehole,
like,
are they, over there? Like,
mushrooms.
Over here, the portion control's through the roof, but you go over there, they're just like, you know what? Here's another 2 rashers. Fuck it. You're taking the full pack anyway.
Exactly, just fucking. Exactly, yeah. So.
Beans is asking where you're staying.
Where I'm staying at the moment is a Radisson Hotel.
I think he means where are you?
Just about. Boston.
He's in Boston. Beans has just joined, so he didn't hear the beginning bit. You say New York tomorrow?
Going to New York tomorrow for 4 days.
Mate, you are living the dream.
Then Washington, and then Orlando. Yeah.
You are absolutely living the dream. I can't wait to go traveling.
Yeah, man.
Myself. I say traveling. It's just traveling in America, but...
You'd like Boston now. I know we're way off topic here, but you would actually like Boston because
it started off. It was meant to be a video game show. We started off 35 minutes talking about the Premier League, so fuck it, we'll just have a chat now.
But you really like Boston now, actually. Like we've said that we definitely like come back to Boston already, and like the people over here, man, are just fucking unreal.
Americans nice. I know they get a bad rep, but mostly because of fucking sense of humour, because they don't have one. I don't care what anyone says. I'm possibly the most sarcastic person. They just go straight over the red, and they just think I'm being...
Yeah, they don't get sarcasm.
No, they just think I'm rude.
They actually don't.
Like, no, mate, I didn't mean that. Sorry.
It's like Sepp. Sepp doesn't get sarcasm either. He's like, it's a lost art.
Yeah.
Like he'd get fucking destroyed in a pub in Ireland over here. Like he would just get rinsed. Like it would just be And like some people can take sarcasm, but Americans definitely can't.
Right over
like they
them.
just don't have, because everything is just like straight up to them. You know.
Samantha's like, you can't say that. Just be normal. It's like, I am being normal. He's like, stop being so happy. He's like, you're just gonna do the reading. It's like, right, okay, fine. I'll be a miserable bastard. But they just don't get it.
You always fucking are at me.
Because you fucking get on my nerves.
Yeah, exactly. Sure, you get on my nerves too.
I tell you what, that hot chocolate is fucking worse.
Who's worse?
You're worse.
I don't think so. I definitely think you're worse. I'm like fucking. I'm just like the side act to you.
Yeah.
In terms of like who's more annoying, because like.
Oh, nice one.
If you're annoying someone originally, I'll send them over the edge. Yeah. But if you're not, I won't annoy them. Whereas you always annoy somebody. So
he's in Boston for one more day, Beans, and then he goes to New York tomorrow.
Yeah, man.
I'd love to visit you.
In Boston, yeah, but we're going to New York in the morning at like, I think it's like 11 o'clock. We've actually booked the bus later. It's like 3 hours from here. So.
He said that he'd love to visit the USA.
Definitely recommend it.
It's I don't think going to America is that expensive. I honestly don't. Like, the flights getting over there are possibly the most expensive thing about it.
Yeah. The flights, it depends like where you're staying in the accommodation. Like it is expensive if you're talking about going to other places, but like you going to Dublin now or something like would be the same coming over here. Like whereas
I came to Dublin for 2.5 days and it cost me nearly 350 quid. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's ridiculous, and you're over the pond. It's 40 minutes in the plane, but
yeah,
we went over to.
But like it is we've literally been saving for this for about, I'd say about like easily 18 months. Like as in literally like 3/4 of our fucking wages every week has been gone into saving.
Yeah.
Now we won't need everything that we've saved. Hopefully be able to bring some home and fucking be able to get a new telly or whatever and stuff like that when I come back. But like we literally fucking, it is going to cost a good bit when we're back. But we're kind of doing, like we went to a fucking NHL playoff game, like a hockey game the other night.
Yeah.
And that was like, I think it was like 150 a ticket because it was like the playoffs. But it was like, we had to kind of go because we weren't going to ever get a chance to go again.
Yeah.
So, like, you could do it on the cheap, and you could obviously eat in Taco Bell and Subway, and like, and where you'd go, you'd get a meal for about 10 quid, like a burger and chip. So, I definitely would recommend it to anybody. But like, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Like, I can't wait to get Orlando over us, and like, we're heading to the west then. Like, so we'll be going to LA and San Diego and shit like that. So, I'll definitely be able to, whoever has any. You know, if Beans ever was trying to fucking saying going to Vegas for a few years back in the comments there, yeah, it was like $3,000 for 5 days.
I went to Vegas for
it depends, like
for 8 days. Yeah. Me and Samantha, and there was a group of us that went. There was 8 of us, I think. We paid £750 for 8 days to go to Vegas. It was out. It was just out of season. It was in the end of February, I think it was. But everything was still open and that. The weather, it wasn't meant to be that nice, but we got over there and it was like 25 degrees. It was beautiful still, but like this was about 4 or 5 years ago maybe. Like it all depends on when you want to go, mate, and where you want to go. Obviously going to Vegas in season.
Definitely, if you pick
peak.
Yeah, if you pick when, like Vegas, we're going to Vegas, I think, after. Yeah, we're basically what we're doing, not to be fucking going on about it, but basically what we're doing is we're going down the East Coast from here to like Orlando. Then we're flying up to Chicago and driving to Vegas, and then staying in Vegas for like a week, and then on to San Diego, Los Angeles, and then San Francisco. So we're pretty much getting every single place we want to go in, but Vegas is actually one of the cheapest for where we're staying.
Yeah, where are you staying?
It's not the MGM Grand. It's not the MGM Grand. It's another hotel called New York.
Oh, mate.
It was like
yes.
Yeah, we're only staying there. It's supposed to be fucking class, mate, now, class altogether. But like
the reason being, in fact, you might not love it as much as the missus does. In fact, 1 second, Reborn, thank you very much for the follow there, mate. New York's next to Luxor, which is where we stayed. We stayed in the Luxor, but we had to use New York's pool because ours was getting rebuilt.
Okay.
But literally, there's an escalator that takes you between them. But where you're staying inside New York, there's a bar upstairs, and it's a Coyote Ugly bar. And it's unbelievable, like the amount of places that are inside, and there's a roller coaster as well. The roller coaster is sick.
Yeah, there's like, and then the other place that we're staying in then is like half the price of what it is, but it's out a bit. But there's like a free monorail service that brings you right into the strip. So like we pretty much have 5 days. We've pretty much 4 days in the New York, and we're getting that for whatever it is. I actually don't know what it is, but it's a fairly good deal. And then the place we're staying for the next 4 days, I don't know what the name of that place is, but it's actually out a bit from the strip.
Yeah.
But that's like half the price.
Yeah, it will be.
So between them all, we're averaging out pretty. It's actually one of the cheapest places we're staying. Yeah. So, but America is expensive, but again, it's what you want to spend. Like, we're not big drinkers. Do you know what I mean? So we might go out maybe once a week while we're here and not get pissed, but we'll have a few.
Yeah.
Like, just to experience that nightlife and go to a few clubs and shit. But we're not going to be, like, I know some people here, like my friends that have come to, like, Vegas for, like, a week, and they might spend $5,000.
Yeah.
Like, but Beans is saying there, it depends what you're actually budgeting yourself, you know. It's all relevant.
We had a few hours in the casino each night, and we still went out and managed to do shows and things like that. Samantha got to do a Grand Canyon tour, so she got to go in the helicopter and get dropped off over there. I managed to go to the shooting gallery and fire a few guns off and stuff like that. It was, and I said this was done like 5 years ago, so the prices are going to be different now due to inflation and things like that. But as you said, whatever you got to do over there, obviously it's going to cost you money. But if you're not that arsed about drinking and things like that, you compensate it a different way, don't you?
Exactly, yeah. Like, that's it. Like, we've pretty much spent nothing the last 2 days where we're staying at the moment, and we got it for dirt cheap because it's kind of like, it's about like half an hour outside Boston.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's literally just it's literally like 2.5 hours away from New York, and we pretty much just said, like, look, fuck it, we're after doing 4 nights, 5 nights in Boston, kind of like where we weren't really watching shit. So now we're going to literally just like do nothing for the next 2 days. Like, I'd say we've only spent about like 20 quid a day while we're here, apart from the accommodation.
That's unbelievable.
So it's like fucking dirt.
Yeah,
like
that is literally nothing.
It's like all we've eaten is Subway and Dunkin' Donuts. That's all we've eaten for the last few days. Yeah. So it's like, whatever we've spent, we're back on even keel now again, going to New York. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So
when you get to Florida, mate, I can tell you now that it's going to change. If you meet up with True Brits as well, and he takes you to that place that he did, I think something frog, Senorita Frog or something like that. It was unbelievable Mexican food. It was class. On International Drive.
Yeah, I'll definitely meet up with Ricky a few times now.
Yeah. The International Drive, there's just so much stuff to do on there, mate. There's like alligator golf and stuff like that, so you can play mini golf around, and alligators underneath you, and you can feed them and stuff like that as you're going around. There's shit to so there's literally opposite where you're staying is like a fun fair as well, so they have one of them stupid ball things that you sit in, it fires you up in the air. It's got go-karts and everything around it. It's been...
Well, I'd say it'll just be a different world, like.
Yeah, you're going to love it. I can get smashed any time we're driving, remember holiday, and get some once in a lifetime moments. That's exactly why we go on these big holidays.
Yep.
You've got to do them, haven't you? You've got to get them out, especially if you haven't got any kids, get all the holidays out of the way and the memories and stuff like that before you have the kids, because kids are going to ruin it for you. Spoiler alert.
Exactly. Do it while you can. That's the spoiler, yeah. Do it while you can.
That's exactly why I went to
agree.
Florida last year, so we could go to Disneyland without dragging a kid, kicking and screaming around it.
I'm sure Samantha there anyway, acting the bollocks probably.
Yeah. Well, between us, we've got like 12.
Watching everything you were doing.
We've got like 12 nieces and nephews. Well, 8, I think, 8 or 9 between us. So it's like, don't really want kids yet. But moving slightly back onto, I mean, I'm not gonna. I can't imagine this show's gonna go on much longer. We've literally just talked bollocks for. Well, it's like every show, nearly an hour and 20 minutes, but I kind of want to finish on 2 final things. The first one being, my game of the year last year. I've talked about it ever since it came out. But Resident Evil 7 has now surpassed 5.1 million games sold, which is now the Capcom's 5th best-selling game ever. It's annoying.
That's good, man.
Yeah, it's annoying because Resident Evil 6 got 7.1 million, but I feel like we were sold a lie with that.
It's good though. Like I'd say the budget for Resident Evil 7 was down.
Yeah,
you know that kind of way. Like I'd say they didn't spend as much.
Yeah.
New engine, like I know, but setting the tone. I think a lot of people were burnt by fucking Resi 6 so badly that they were like, you know what, fuck Capcom. You know, they've got an awful rep as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's like fucking Konami with Metal Gear now at the moment. They're like, some people just don't even give it a try. You know, were you happy for Resident Evil to be kind of the launch pad for a new wave of Resi games?
100%. Resident Evil 7 is up there with 1, 2, and 3 for me by a mile, and it's very interesting looking at their top 10 game sales. That barring one Street Fighter game, it's dominated by Monster Hunter and Resident Evil. Beans is about to get blocked from the chat because he said that he's never played a Resident Evil before.
Jesus Christ. Never any Resident Evil?
I don't think he's played any. That is absolute blasphemy.
Oh, fuck Beans.
But I mean, Monster Hunter World, I can see why that is top of the list because everyone's going... I've never played a Monster Hunter game, so I don't know what the hype's about, but I can see the hype being through the roof for that game when it came out, and people are still playing it now. It's like one of the strongest game,
like
the strongest game communities out. In fact, that's what it was. That was saying about the grindiness. It was Monster Hunter. But yeah, it annoys me that it's so far down. However, I'm still happy at the fact that it's up there purely because of how bad 6 did in terms of gameplay, that people have still gone out and bought Resident Evil 7. I don't know if it's because they dropped 3 different demos into the store so people could say, so Capcom could literally say, right, we're making a new game, it's going back to its roots, here's the game, here's the demo. Because nobody knew that Beginning Hour was a Resident Evil game because it didn't have Resident Evil in the title. I don't even think they knew until the second one dropped, and then it got announced that it was going to be that. Very much like PT was nobody knew it was a Silent Hill game until they finished the demo. Yeah. But I didn't know Beginning Hour was Resident Evil at the time, and obviously until I finished it, and they dropped the second one. But it hit everything that I wanted a survival horror game to be. It hit it. It was unbelievable. Beans, thanks very much.
Well, it's a good launch pad.
Yeah. The fact that they've taken the time to stop releasing Not a Hero to say, right, it wasn't that good, we're going to re-release it again, means it. I don't want to say, it means the world to me, because obviously I'm just happy the fact that they are still they was releasing stuff for it, but the fact that they stripped it down and still put it in there, it does mean that the likelihood is we're going to get Resident Evil 8 or a spin-off of some sort. I'm extremely happy with it.
Yeah, I think E3, they'll come out. I think they'll definitely announce one at E3.
I'm glad it sold well.
I think.
I mean, Monster Hunter in the West, I don't think it's barring this Monster Hunter World. I think I've read that most of the Monster Hunters didn't actually arrive in Western society. I think it was just mostly all in like Japan and things like that. And so you can see why most of these Monster Hunters may not be further up the list. But I mean, Resident Evil 2, 4.96 million. Don't forget that was back in like 1998, which gaming was still big back then, but I don't think it has the social platform that it does now. I can see when they re-release Resident Evil 2 that'll probably surpass their original selling figures. I imagine it's going to be higher than that. I reckon it's going to beat 5.1. Honestly, I do.
Yeah, well, look, it's I don't know, like with Resident Evil 7, like going back on that, it's a great launch pad for people that when it came out, I think it was so different. I think the reviews and stuff, I think if another one was announced and they build a proper, if they promote it properly and build a proper kind of, I don't know, advertising kind of campaign on it, like I definitely think it could be huge again, because I think Resident Evil itself, I think Capcom have kind of taken a lot of misplaced steps with it, like over the last few years. Yeah. But I think Resi 7 definitely I loved it. Like I loved Resi 7. Like I fucking thought it was brilliant. I thought it lost its way at the end a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think that the first 5-6 hours were definitely game of the year stuff for me. I think it just went a little bit kind of.
Well, it's not a Resident Evil game.
It just went a little bit kind of like.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Which was like, I'd be interested to see if they could change it enough while keeping it the same way as Resident Evil 7 was, but change it enough so that it could be fresh. I mean, I definitely think the future for them would be kind of something kind of like not a battle royale mode, but maybe something where you're in a city, like you're trapped in a city like Raccoon City, but it's kind of, I know I've spoken to you about this off stream, where it's kind of like survival, kind of like 7 Days to Die or State of Decay 2 or whatever, like that kind of style, where it's like there is a story there, but there's also a kind of like after story where you're online, like basically just surviving, like whether it was kind of like survival as in like you survive so many days, you build a base, whatever. I think that would be sick. Like, you know,
it'd be interesting if there was to do that.
It would be class if you had a 4-man squad or something
in the game, because the atmosphere was built in this because you was inside that house, weren't you? And it's all really small spaces, small confined spaces. Again, the ammo and the herbs and everything was sporadic. So you didn't have to knock a wall down to get bullets or anything like that, and you had to go out and find keys, do puzzles, put a shotgun onto a statue to be able to turn the statue.
Yeah, that was class.
It's like Resident Evil 1. You had to get the broken shotgun, you had to put it on the wall, then the roof would stop collapsing on you and stuff like that. It's all, for me, when I was playing that was the same way that it was like when I was playing Resident Evil 1 for the first time, which I didn't play it when it originally came out because I was only 7. I was probably like 9 or 10, and the first time playing that, just shitting my pants with my friends, just thinking, because I remember seeing my mate's dad playing it, and I'm like, it's going to be scary, this, and he's playing through it, and me and my best mates are getting, because they were both brothers, both getting like proper into it, like proper scared and things like that, and it's the same feeling that I got from playing this, because I was playing it and Samantha was watching me, and she was shitting herself while I was playing it. It's just one of them. I just love survival horror games, and I'm fucking over the moon that this has come back with an absolute blast. So I think we're probably going to leave it on the last news story, and it's part of the For Your Information segment. For those of you that have been absolutely buzzing about the Resident Evil, then Red Dead Redemption 2 coming out. If you own an Xbox, which I do not, and you own a copy of Red Dead Redemption 1, it is now available in nearly 4K. I think it goes up to 720, but the resolution and everything's like through the roof on it, so you'll be able to play it in a lot better visuals. So I'm just going to run through this quick.
Visuals.
Yeah, I'm just going to run through this Eurogamer article. Just how robust is the Xbox One X enhanced version of Red Dead Redemption? ? Does it improve the performance seen in the standard game, also translate across the more challenging Undead Nightmare DLC? ? The standalone episode retails blah 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 blah. We put the expansion through the grinder, and good news is that the excellent performance level seen on the standard RDR translate entirely to the Undead Nightmare 2. Remarkably, this means the game outperforms the standard Xbox One backward compatibility game, taxing scenes while comprehensively beating the best frame rates equivalent to the scenes of the original 360 hardware. So yeah, you can play it in 4K. Perfect. If you are a Red Dead fan, you can probably pick this up second hand from your local CEX or Amazon retailer for probably next to nothing.
Definitely.
However, I imagine since this news has come out, they have put the prices up of them.
Probably have to.
I would have done. If I was a CEX,
I think I still have my copy there.
That's it. You put it in your Xbox One. Bosh! You got a 4K TV. You're buzzing. Apparently, it includes a 9 times resolution boost for texture mapping. Mate, teraflops, MIP mapping, and all that stuff. I have no idea what it means. It sounds cool as hell, and I imagine it does something, but I have no idea what all of that means. I imagine it means it looks better. That's probably all you need to know.
That's probably it.
So yeah, I mean, obviously you wasn't meant to be on the show today, and I do appreciate you obviously standing in to come in and to help me out. Even though you are on the other side of the world, do you know what I mean? Still helping a brother out.
Sure, look, has to be done.
Is there anything else that you would like to go over for this edition?
No, man. The only thing I would say, well, people, I'm always on about this, but my favourite game series of all time, talking about remakes, is coming back
Oh,
and
I know what it is.
I'm telling you, man, Shemu, I'm telling you. You need to fucking get on this game.
Now it's coming on PS4, mate. I tell you what, just for you.
I will actually, like, I will buy you a copy. That's how confident I am that you would actually love it. I swear, I would like, just to get, I would literally, like, I just love for you to play it without knowing anything about it, like, without watching any clips, whatever.
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah,
That's the beauty about it.
Just play it and just fucking, it's like, this is how I feel, like, it's like your Resi, like, this is my kind of, this is just the game that hit home with me, and there's only been 2 of them, but I must have played it, like, fucking hundreds of hours just walking around, but it's unlike anything else, but, like, they basically are making a double pack coming out for the Switch, or coming out for the PC, on Steam, PS4 and Xbox, and it's coming out this year. They're saying it's probably rumored the new one that's in development at the moment, Shenmue 3, that's coming out, but it probably will be pushed back to 2019. So they're thinking of bringing this one out this year as kind of like a bridge. So that's kind of like the rumors at the moment, that they're thinking of bringing it out around Christmas time, like the original releases of the last ones. So that's just my
it's not coming out on
fucking
the Switch.
Good news.
Because I seen you tweet about it.
No, man, and fuck's sake, the tweets I was reading, like, because I'm very passionate about this, like, but no, I'm not, because in this day and age, like, I don't know any gamer. There's nobody that I know that hasn't got 2 consoles now.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
either you have a PS4 and X. Yeah, I'm classing it as, like, yeah, I would be, yeah. Like, you either now have a way of playing Steam games, you have a way of either having a PS4, an Xbox One, or both.
Yeah.
Like, I would say that there's very, very, very few gamers that don't have a PS4 or an Xbox One. Yeah. Like, I'd be very surprised. You know what I mean? Like, I have a Switch. I love my Switch. But it's like, not every single fucking game that comes out needs to be for the Switch. Do you know what I mean? It's just people, man. It's just people fucking moaning the whole time, you know? It gets under my tits, because this game has been like, yeah, look, it would be brilliant to have it on the move. I'd love to have it here and play it or whatever, but, like,
it's not going to take the shine away from you playing it on your PS4, is it? Let's face it.
If Sega came out and said, look, we're going to be making a console specifically for this, it's going to cost £500, I'd probably buy it. But that's just me, and I understand that not everyone, like, loves the game as much as that. But I mean, I don't know anybody that doesn't have at least 2 consoles now. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe there is some people that just have a Switch, but I don't think that's who they're marketing it for. No, you know, and obviously, if the Switch, if it was possible on the Switch, because I know that Sega announced a master pack for all the old style games. Did you see that? Like Sonic and stuff like that. So they're bringing out, like, Sonic, basically, like, just like a remastering of
it's like Sega Genesis collection.
Streets of Rage and fucking Sonic and all those games. So, like, obviously they are working in partnership with them.
Well, let's be honest, they do like Sonic and Mario at the Olympics and stuff like that, don't they? And they've obviously brought Sonic Mania out for the Switch, so it's not out of the normal that they're just bringing these things out.
But it's just demand, you know. So yeah, that's my good news of the week, I suppose. I'm absolutely buzzing with that.
I'm buzzing for you. I will definitely pick it up, because I know you've been blasting me about playing it for ages. So now it's coming to a console that I can actually play it on. I'll definitely pick it up.
Nice one.
So obviously, again, thank you very much for joining me on this episode, mate. It does mean a lot.
No bother, man.
That is episode 7. It was
nice.
It wasn't so much about gaming, it was more about sports and a little bit of gaming, and a just good old chinwag about going to America. But yeah, that has been episode 7. It will be listed onto, oh my god, oh babe, this is unbelievable. Right, so I don't know how many people are going to be watching this, but she's just walked up with some cinnamon rolls. Look at them bad boys.
Jesus Christ, you're living the fucking dream. She definitely wants something. She wants something.
I know. I'm going to tuck into these in a minute. But yeah, this has been episode 7. It will be on SoundCloud probably tomorrow because it is getting late and man needs his rest. But yeah, episode 7, it's going to be on YouTube, it's going to be on SoundCloud. You can watch it on video on demand live on Twitch because that's where we stream it every week. I will put the Midnight Kids social details into the episode notes, so you can go over and follow him on all forms of social media if you want to find out where he is in the world. But yeah, until then guys, I'll just sit here with my cinnamon buns and I'll see you next week.
Yeah, see you lads.